Okay. Hope everyone's doing phenomenal. I am pumped to be with you today. I'm here at our Centerville office and got some really exciting stuff that I'm looking forward to sharing with everyone. Really, as I think about and look at our current circumstances midway through October, right? There's tons to get done, tons of opportunities still out there for each and every one of us. I'm also thinking about what should you be working on each and every day? What should your focus be on? And look, it's funny when we do these trainings because look, I know the information that I'm sharing with you. You've heard it before. I know you have. But what I know is that I go to trainings all the time and I hear things that have been repeated over and over and over again. And what I love is every single time I go, oh, you know what? I did figure that thing out last time I heard it, but I still have other steps. And so what I'm certain of is that when you hear me and you're going to hear me or anyone talking about something that you've heard before, don't make that brutal mistake of saying, oh, I know this already, or I've heard that already. Because I'm telling you right now, there's so much to learn and so much to engage in. And I'm pumped today to share with you something that I was taught so many years ago. And it has stuck with me ever since, and what I believe can be a great thing for you. So let's dive right into it. I'm actually going to give you more points than I normally do on a day. However, I'm going to go through them really quickly. So I've got to fix this camera just a titch. It's just kind of off a little bit. So if you guys can be patient with me, I'm in Centerville, the prospecting monster. Don't know if you guys, I know I've shown this before. I love that thing. Okay, that's a little bit better. Trying to just get this screen up close so I can show you the whiteboard. Yeah, I think that'll do it. That'll be perfect. And of course, put my suit coat on just because I like it. All right, guys, I'm going to dive right in here. So today, what I want to focus on, what I want to dive into are 12 essential skills that you as a real estate agent should have. So if you have a pen and a paper out, I love the idea for you to write these things down and have them in order. And what I love about it is at the end of this experiment, you're going to be able to say, hey, wow, there's a few things in there I'm doing really well. That's one I haven't even thought of as a skill. And then you're going to have some other things that you're like, well, I really need to step up my game in this arena. But let's dive right into it. 12 essential skills every real estate agent should have. I'm just going to try to see where I can go with these. Okay, skill set number 1. Setting appointments. Is setting an appointment a skill? Absolutely it is. And one of the key elements of it is I can best see over the years is your ability to ask for the appointment. So often I'm walking the halls, I'm prospecting with agents, I'm listening to what's being said, I'm making calls with you, and I hear these words come out so often. Hi, I'm calling to see, I'm just going to do this, the quick version, but seeing if you have any real estate needs right now. Yay, nay, maybe. Is the house still for sale? It's expired, for sale by owner, whatever it is. You ask the opening question, you get a response. And then what I hear is, well, that's great. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out to me if you need any help. Gang, we have got to step up our action level at that point. Our focus has got to be on setting appointments. Every single phone call you make, every interaction you have with a buyer or seller, every little funny conversation you're having with someone about real estate, your number one objective is setting an appointment. And I know that the first step in you becoming better at that is simply asking for it. Simply saying to people, when can we meet? I would like to share with you my marketing strategy. When can we meet? I'd like to show you this property over in this neighborhood. When can we meet? And be talking about that. You could certainly dive deeper in assuming the sale with people of, hey, is this time or this time? Is Tuesday better? Hey, I've got some open time on Wednesday. What would be a good day for you? Or what would be a good time for you on Wednesday? Be totally focused on that. I'm telling you right now, it'll make a huge difference. Skill set number 2. Lead follow-up. What is your system and strategy for following up with leads? Where are you storing names? Where are you keeping track of the people you've talked to. Where are you putting your sphere of influence, doing marketing strategies, whatever it might be? What is your system? Having the system can be part of the skill, but the biggest and most important part is picking up that phone and just following up with people. Calling and calling and calling until you get a no. Look, I have been working from a management side, coaching, training, all of that for nearly 12, I'm going to guess 12 or 13 years-ish now. I have taken a lot of complaint phone calls. I'm telling you, a lot. Guess what? I've never had a phone call about. Hey, your agent follows up with me too much. Your agent calls me too frequently to see if I'm in need of any assistance. Yeah, what's so interesting, the thing that stops us from making those phone calls is the fear. The fear of how they might react, the fear of how they might perceive us, the fear of how they might be bothered with us, because we get bothered with salespeople, right? That's the path that I see so frequently happen. Gang, never heard a complaint in my life, and I promise you, people are grateful for your follow-up because they know that there's a need there and a real estate need. So keep on track with people, keep following up, and keep on the game. There's some great examples out there of people who are really great at follow-up. Get close with them. In fact, look at the top producing agents. You will find that the reason why they're succeeding at a high level is because they're great at follow-up, guaranteed. In fact, one thing I always like to say when I'm talking about follow-up, I'm certain that every person listening on the call, watching, whatever, right now, has someone that they can think of that they need to follow up with right now. Somebody you need to follow up with. Go do it. Even if you're late on following up with them, even if you were supposed to do it a week ago, follow up with those people immediately. Number 3, pre-qualify. What are you qualifying them for? Your time. The asset that you have as a real estate professional is your time and your talents, and they must be protected at the highest of levels. So it's imperative that you get committed to doing the pre-qualification with people, to qualifying them for your time, making absolutely certain that if you're going to go out and sit at that coffee table and tour that home and present to these people, that you have a real, and this is the phrase I love, do you have a realistic chance of earning their business? That's how you qualify someone, is knowing, do you have a realistic chance of earning their business? And if you know that, then it's worth going and seeing. And how do you pre-qualify? Look, this isn't a class on pre-qualifying today. You can get into your script book and you can see all the great questions that could be asked. But the bottom line is, and I've said this for years, your ability and willingness to pre-qualify people is a direct reflection of how you value your time. Again, your ability or your inability or your willingness or unwillingness is to pre-qualify people is a direct reflection of how you value your time. So ask yourself, do you pre-qualify people before you go on an appointment? Do you make sure you understand their motivation? Do you make sure you know their ability, that they have the ability to sell or buy? Are those things important to you before you go spend your time and energy, your assets? Well, if they are, then it means you value your time. If it's not, then it means what you are okay with is what I like to call pretend working. And I only know that because I've done it, you guys. I have gone on unqualified appointments early in my career because I was desperate for an appointment. I was more committed to having an appointment and saying I had an appointment and tricking even myself, and being honest with myself. I was more committed to that than just being committed to getting a qualified appointment. So please commit to and be so solid on the idea of pre-qualified. Number 4, I told you I was going to whip through these really fast, 12 essential skills. Number 4 is presenting. What I would normally love to do if I was talking just about presenting is sort of the who, what, where, why, when, how of presenting. Do you know who you're presenting to? What scripts are you using? Why are you saying what you say? Right? How committed are you to using those scripts? As you start to dial that in, you'll figure it out. But look, what is your message? That's the key element, right? Your number one job, set an appointment so you can present to people. And I've talked to far too many agents who get in front of far too many potential clients that don't have a presentation. Gang, get committed to figuring out what your presentations are and then improving upon those skills, whether it be role playing, getting audio or visual recordings of yourself, figuring out how to be better. I know you can do that. You know how essential it is. Figure it out. You can make that happen. I am absolutely certain of it. Presenting is critical, and your ability to present will make you a better prospector. It'll make you a better closer because you know how to get the job done here. Okay, 5. Got my notes here. 5. I'm going to put HO, handling objections. It is a skill to handle objections. Any of you guys ever been to these real estate seminars? I was at one once a few years ago where there were probably 5 agents they were doing a panel. There were 5 agents who were killing it in real estate. They'd been in the business for at least 20 plus years each. And they'd seen the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? And the question was asked of them, what are the objections that you face? And look, we all know we get very into the idea that there's some new crazy objection going out there. They are the same objections always in every market. And so it's essential for you to be able to handle the objections. So do you know what the objections are, right? Think about this. Who are you calling each day? Who are you focused on speaking with? Who are the people that you're reaching out to? So if you know the answer to that, then what are the possible objections they might have? If you're heading into a listing appointment, what are the objections that seller might have? Oh, I want to think about it. Oh, we're going to price it a little too high. What are the commission reductions that you can look at? We're not quite ready to list. Let us think about it, right? They're the same things in every market. The key element of this is, how are you going to handle that? Do you know what to say? I guess the great question is, if you knew the objections, if you knew the verbiage you would use, the questions, the statements, the closes that you would use for each objection, would you be more or less successful when you sit down across the coffee table from a seller? You'd be more successful. We know you would. You'd say your words with more confidence. You would sit up a little straighter. There'd be no hesitation. There'd be no questioning. You'd be no upswing. And when you would know what you're going to say, and you'd say it with great authority, which would mean people would be confident and committed to working with you. So make sure you know those objections. Number 6, close. Closing is a skill set. And I go back to same thing with setting appointments, same thing with closing. He said, if you would only ask, right? Most people don't even ask for the signature. They don't even put themselves in a position they just move on. Guys, I have been there. I've been in the room when you've had a good presentation, things have gone okay, and you then let the client dictate whether or not you're even going to ask the question for them to sign. You're going to let them off the hook, right? Figure out the closes. Get in there. I love in your script book, the master close. It is so great to be able to identify and pick out the specific objections they may have and understand, well, as long as we can solve this objection, you're ready to move forward with me, right? Yeah. Solve that objection. These things all tie in together. I said earlier, the thing about appointments, boy, I'm telling you right now, the more business is lost than anything in this world in sales because of poor lead follow-up. Next, it's going to be not going for the close, which includes setting appointments, not even just asking for the appointment. So your skill level on closes, where is it? Are you always asking? Are you committed to it, right? Okay, let's move on over here. 7, pricing. How good are you at pricing? And boy, in markets like we're experiencing right now, where the market's increasing and all of that great stuff, it's even more tricky for you to figure that out and know exactly what direction you're heading. Agents, know your statistics. Know what's happening in the market. Understand how you can get on your MLS and use it to be a great tool for you and your business, so you can know what's selling, what's not, what's expired, figuring out how to really go into an appointment with a solid answer for someone to say, here's where you should list your price. And when you can figure that out, you're going to have so much confidence in what you share with people, right? If you just think about the script and working through that and helping people figure out and come up to their own solution with the information you provide about what the value is, it's phenomenal. But when I look at pricing, I'm looking at that as you understand the values, the market, the where things are trending, the neighborhoods that you're working in. Get committed to knowing that. It'll make you a far better agent. Your customer service will be off the charts too. Number 8, negotiating. Guys, we could find volumes of books written on how to negotiate and be a great negotiator. How are you doing with your negotiating? I remember early in my career, the line I used to love to use when I was trying to sell myself to someone was the idea that we negotiate for you. And I would make fun of the agent that would say, guys, have you ever been representing a seller? Have you ever received a contract without having any communication from the buyer's agent? They don't ask you about the seller. They don't figure out what's important to them. They just send a contract over. Okay. How strong of a negotiator are you? How powerful are you at asking the right questions, holding your ground, knowing when it's time to just get a house, right? In fact, right now, one of the commitments that I always make to people, and I suggest that you make to people, is that you will get them a great deal, right? If you've ever been to one of my trainings, I teach people, make yourself to specifically a buyer agent. I'm available 24/7 to help you. I'll get homes in front of your face faster than anyone else, and I'll negotiate you a great deal. And in the current market circumstances, I say, sometimes the great deal is just getting the deal under contract, right? Getting the contract. How great are you? What are you doing to improve upon that? Just think about that. Think about your ability to negotiate and how solid you feel in that world. Okay, let's keep moving on. Next. Man, I promised I'd go fast. Oops. I think I'm missing one. Sorry, guys. I'm going to back up. I'm moving ahead of myself here. Price reductions. Okay. So look, I've got pricing and price reductions right here. Interesting. These skills kind of work together. And you know what's right between them? They're sandwiching negotiating, because you are negotiating right here. If we ask the question, who are you negotiating with? You're negotiating with buyers, you're negotiating with sellers, you're negotiating with agents, you're negotiating with their clients. Heck, you're negotiating with home warranty companies, title companies, mortgage companies, inspectors, right? You are always negotiating. And so when you think about this, I don't find it just coincidence that pricing and price reduction are surrounded by negotiating, because they kind of counteract each other. If you're great at pricing, you shouldn't have to worry too much about price reductions. But if you're a poor negotiator, you're probably not pricing properly, and then you have to worry about getting good at price reductions. Think about that. Being able to work with people on a price reduction is a skill. There's a great script for it. You should get to know what's the best approach over the years. And look, even in this current market, you guys, I know we're experiencing it. I talked to a seller just a few days ago. They started their home price. It was a $1.5 million home and I had a friend that was interested in it, calls me up and says, hey, can you talk to me about this specific property? I'm confused. They've reduced their price $150,000 in 5 days. There must be something wrong with that. Okay, back to the top, pricing. I call the agent and she says, no, they just wanted to try for higher and we reduced the price. Even in this current market where things are flying off the shelves, multiple offers, highest and best, sell prices above list price, we're still experiencing this. You've got to be prepared and know and have the ability to get a seller to lower and reduce the price of their listing if it's not selling. Kind of in a situation right now where you just have to be kind of on hyper speed of when you do that. Because right now, you know, within, a few days at most that you're way overpriced if you are. No showings or lots of showings, no offers, right? Pay attention to those trends And what I would just say, we're looking at that because we're coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about customer service, but one of the essential items to making sure you're successful in price reduction is going to be your ability to set some expectations early with people. Help them know, hey, this is the price that we're starting at. Let's cross our fingers and hope it all works. But if we're seeing no showings, no offers, we're overpriced. Set that expectation early. Or the same is true if some showings with no offers, right? Or a lot of showings and only one offer, right? I mean, you kind of know. It tells a story. Set the stage for these people. Get them to figure it out. Number 10, time management. As an agent, this is one of the most important things that you can figure out. How are you managing your time? If you ever want to spend some great time getting better at this, go read from Jim Rohn. He has so much to say about time management and the way in which you're spending your time. Go listen to what Jim Rohn says about this. I remember the first time I heard his name, I thought of Jim Rome, the ESPN announcer. I couldn't believe that he was also a motivational speaker. I was wrong. It's Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N. Listen to what he has to say about time management. Or, boy, I love the book by the lady, Mel Robbins. I don't remember the title of the book. It might be this, but it's the 3, 2, 1 blast off. 5 seconds, something? I can't remember. Basically, though, she just has this thing where she's like, she counts down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom, she gets and does the thing she's supposed to do. It might be, I need to wake up in the morning. It might be, I need to make a prospecting call. It might be, I need to get to the office, right? Whatever it is, you get yourself totally committed to the idea of taking action quickly and managing. 5-second rule. Yes. Thank you so much. Okay. Time management. Manage your time. I said earlier in the day, your great asset is your time. So make sure that you're managing it properly, getting the best of yourself. And it's not just all about where can you find extra time to prospect and all that. Guys, it's about also the quality of your life. When you manage your time and you manage your day rather than your day managing you, you're able to not only get effective and be effective with your work, but you're also able to be and do effective in your personal life and family, friends, loved ones, recreational activities you enjoy. Manage that time. Let's keep on rolling here. Customer service. Look, customer service is a skill. Some people are better at it than others, and there's no doubt about it. Think about your transactions. How do they normally go? Are they smooth? A lot of communication? How about the relationship you have with your clients? Do you feel like it's a real happy, positive relationship? Do you feel like they're confident in you? Are you having lots of common experiences where things are not going well? Probably because you're not setting the right expectation, providing the right amount of customer service. 2 things that I just will forever say regarding customer service moving forward. Empathy. Are you being empathetic? Are you considering how your clients may be feeling at all times and at every phase of the transaction? When you ask yourself, how might they be feeling right now? And then determine in your mind how you know they're probably feeling, and then go and communicate with them about that. Hey, you're probably feeling right now like fill in the blank. Hey, I know we got our inspection. We have our inspection tomorrow. You're probably feeling a little anxious about what that all entails. Let me just fill you in on the, hey, I know we have our closing coming up, our settlement. You're probably wondering what that looks like. Let me share that with you. The better you are at communicating that, and the customer service is great. So that's number 1, be empathetic. Number 2, raving fans. If you haven't read this book, you must read this book. It will take you 2 hours, maybe 3. Raving Fans, it is such a great book. The whole concept and idea of the book is that satisfied customers are no longer good enough. You want raving fans, people who are out there just championing your name. And when you're focused on achieving that goal, guess what? You're going to get raving fans. And that's going to bring in more referrals, more business for you, which is going to result in the ability to stay busy with the people that you want to work with. So think about that. How's your customer service? What are you doing to make it better at all times? Okay, that's number 11. Number 12, working with buyers. Huge essential skill. And it makes a big difference, because what we talk about so frequently and what we hear is that buyers can take so much time. Buyers can be out there and taking so much energy and so many of my nights and my weekends, and the list goes on and on. There is a skill that you can learn on how you're approaching the way you're working with buyers. And it starts with you making some rules on the outset of what you are and are not willing to do as it relates to customer service. You'll learn about that in Raving Fans. Like, if you think of any place like Disneyland, right? Disneyland is known for having a great experience, a great customer service experience. Okay. Nordstrom, right? Apple. I'm just trying to think of some of these things. Nordstrom, I'll just go with them because they're kind of known, but it works here with these. And there's a good point here. Nordstrom, they say you can take anything back to Nordstrom. I've heard people say that. I've even heard stories from people saying, I think I heard someone say I took my tires back to Nordstrom. They didn't buy them from Nordstrom, but they returned them there. I don't get the whole story, but the point someone was trying to make is that's how great their customer service is. They let you return anything. Well, would anybody on this call be offended if Nordstrom would not return your tires? I hope not, right? That's ridiculous. There's a line that has to be drawn somewhere to say, yeah, I wouldn't expect Nordstrom to take my tires back. Again, I don't know if that's true, but think about it. That's where you come in Raving Fans. It teaches you to define, this is what type of experience I'm going to provide for my client. And then you say, here's what that looks like. And you don't have to go outside of that. And so for Nordstrom, as an example, it might be, yeah, we're not taking tires back. Disneyland, it might be, yeah, I'm not letting you in for free, right? That's just something that they don't have to do. It's their rule. They're a great customer service company, but they draw the line somewhere, right? You can think of any company. What are the rules for you in your world? What I know is, as a business, the working with buyers is where some of those rules can come in heavily. Sellers too. I mean, my goodness, I took a complaint call once from a seller that said, my agent won't do an open house, and I'm calling to complain about that. As we dug deeper into the situation, what I learned was it's not part of that agent's business plan. It's not part of that. That agent is upfront and very clear. I am not going to do an open house for you. Now, I'm not here to give a discussion on whether or not they shouldn't, they're good, bad, or whatever. The bottom line is this agent chose, this was a few years ago, chose to not engage in open houses. And you know what their client decided? Yeah, they did promise me that they weren't going to do that. They did tell me up front that's not part of their strategy. So yeah, you're right. I can't be upset about that. And the house sold and everyone was happy. But I believe every one of us, as it relates to customer service and working with buyers and sellers, buyers can be tricky because of the timing that it can take, is ensuring that you have rules set up for what you will and won't do. So should you make yourself available to show people homes? Absolutely, right? Should you go look at homes at 10 o'clock at night on a property that's not accepting offers for 5 days, and you know that you and your client have 5 days to go look at it and they're free and you're free and there's a more convenient time? Do you need to drop everything to show them that home at 10 o'clock at night? No, because that was outside of your customer service offering, or it should be, right? You can have that conversation, but you can't have that conversation if you don't have them committed with a buyer broker, right? So part of working with buyers is getting an agency agreement signed. Now, let's be very clear here. What I'm not suggesting is that just because you have an agency agreement signed means that you can be not as great of an agent. That's not what I'm saying here. But what I'm saying is, if you set the right expectations with people and you're determined and committed to providing a great customer service experience, you can be a little bit more committed to that we're very committed to that when you have an agency agreement, when you have the skill set to dial in and understand what their needs and wants are, setting expectations of what you are and are not going to look at, when you will or won't be looking at homes, all that good stuff. It all starts with getting into a committed agency relationship. So agents, here you go. 12 essential skills: setting appointments, lead follow-up, pre-qualify, presenting, handling objections, closing, pricing, negotiating, price reductions, time management, customer service, and working with buyers. What grade do you give yourself? And I don't have time today to do this, but one of the fun things I've loved to do over the years, to give yourself a grade point average, right? So you might come in here and give yourself an A, B plus, C, whatever it might be. And then you go and look and see, well, what is my GPA for the 12 essential skills of real estate? And it's shocking sometimes. And it will identify very quickly what you can work on, where you can be better, and where your time needs to be spent. Agents, thanks for engaging today. Thanks for being part of the coaching call. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to get in front of you and present. I know you've all got a lot going on today, and so it's awesome to take a few moments out of your Monday to do this. Get committed to improving upon these skills, knowing them, and taking your business to the next level, and watch great things happen. I know they will. Guys, have an awesome day. Thank you for participating. See you later.